That tall, gangly thing?
All right, well, the stage has been set. Welcome, everybody, to the first game of the play-in qualifier Teamfight Tactics Reckoning Championship. We're going to of playing maximum tempo and leveling, but we have to sell the Aurelia pair, which is quite controversial to do, and he goes for it anyways. He's going to maximize his streak. He's playing 3 2-star units and going to slam Aginsu's Rage Blade. He is very much going to be in the driver's seat. Escha from Oceania is out to an incredible early lead over the rest of this lobby.
I like it, man. The 2-2 level 5. This is nothing but aggression. This is the kind of stuff that you would see from you know, players like Jaywalking, some of the more aggressive players out of and now you're almost kind of like expecting that you're going to run into Escha, and it looks like he does indeed. So here it is, the battle of the 100 health players, and look at that. That's already a Nidalee 2 on Escha's board as well. That board is insane.
The Nidalee 2, but look at Escha. He's at level 7. He's pushing the tempo and the pace so high. Going up to with the Legionnaires is not going to do enough. And Nidalee 2 can't even get into the action because it's bullying too much. And Escha is perfectly streaking throughout. Now easily by frontline season.
Looking over at Mbappe's board, doesn't have the Abomination online. Maybe going to make a swap over to that in the near future here. Either way,
wait a second.
Trying to just get four Spellweaver, and he's got a Spellweaver emblem on both Ivern and Fiddlesticks. Now, Fiddlesticks is standard. That's great. Ivern is something I don't think I've seen a whole lot of. That's interesting.
Yeah, but another Zephyr being come down. These players are not skipping a beat. Shurikane, a player who has been a very popular or very common resident of rank 1 over in the EUS leaderboards, showing you that he is dialed in. That being said, as much as Shurikane positioned well, the raw power of this composition. All right, let's hop on board with Spencer, who has streaked and seems to be quite stable. Did end up slamming that Bloodthirst that you were talking about. Did end up playing these if you can find an opportunity to have this Kled drive that tempo. And now if you take a look at it, the 6 Hellions, it's just very hard for the Kled to be stopped. He's just bulldozing through one by one, toppling down every single Abomination and Redeemed unit. And Spencer all of a sudden went from the very bottom of the standings at 31 life, now in the top 4. And
game occasion. It seems like it works, but I think normally you'd want something with a bit more damage down there. Let's see how I can do against Xenia here. Xenia's 7th in the lobby right now.
Oh my goodness, the chain CC. This is exactly what Kled is afraid of. And the Kled isn't going down. Draven's supposed to chop down every single unit one by one. That is one of the disadvantages. Draven can be swarmed as he's a single target damage dealer. But with that Guardian, Archangels comes back, able to find a way to chop down every Hellion one by one. Spencer loses his win streak. Not lacking in damage, but it is lacking in frontline capabilities and a 2-star Vel'Koz. Goes up against a 2-star Cavalier Jax with a Wrist Thirster and a secondary form of damage in the Fiddlesticks. Is this enough to survive?
We'll see. I mean, the Cavalier Jax has so much survivability, plus the Titan's already stacked to 25. That Blessed Bloodthirster doing a lot and keeping him up. Look at he's just tanking the Vel'Koz beams. And as soon it gets him down to half HP, and then he just comes right back up again. CC though.
Oh, it's pretty close.
Oh my god.
The burst isn't enough. Sustains through every single one of the bursts. Mbappe, the first player to take an 8th place in the Reckoning World Championship.
Activating that trait at least for the Rel and the Karma. Going up against Incomplete. And it's going to be a bit of a close one. He did get the Zephyr on the Draven at least.
Yeah, but the big star of this is the Yasuo damage. Incomplete's trying to play a heavy Legionnaire tempo style, and that's good for Shurikane if his frontline can hold. But now the Yasuo is onto the Karma. Karma has officially ramped her Soul Flare, but it's just way too late. And now Shurikane's out of damage. You can see that disappointment. He has frontline still remaining. Galio's still tanking, but he is out in 5th place. Lost ever since he got that one unfortunate defeat that snapped his streak at 31 life. And he's been Gucci ever since. Draven 3 is now on the table here for Incomplete. Is he going to be able to chase down these 3 stars? That's Yasuo number 8. More. Just needs to find it. He's chasing all the 3 stars here, Doa.
Yep. All right, finds a Rel 2. That's nice. There it is. There's a Yasuo 3. And that might be the ticket for Incomplete to secure a 2nd place, or maybe just maybe win the lobby. But he didn't get any time to really do some positioning, and he's gonna run right into the Shroud there. Oh, it's the Kled again.
Yeah, it's the Kled again, and it is an opportunity for him to deal damage to Spencer. He's able to do it. Yasuo actually has a pretty good matchup against Kled in particular if Lee Sin's able to continue to slow his attack speed over and over with his cripple. Yasuo slicing and dicing. Kled jumps out and dismounts.
Maybe.
Trying to go. It's a fight between 3-star carriers. Not able to get it done. Spencer continues the momentum. Now, will anybody be able to stop Spencer's comeback? Positioning. See if he can lose by the fewest units as possible. He is going up against Spencer. A Shroud down the middle to stop the Dark Vigil from the Aphelios. He needs to have to maximize his HP here because I think he feels like he's under the favorite. Teemo able to land the mushrooms onto the Kled. The Diana move ball rearranges Kled to the back line and is now going to be focusing the Gwen instead. This gives an opportunity for Aphelios to go for one more cast and try to eliminate as many units as possible. Kled's going to stop it before it gets out of hand, and this is death for Nukamura potentially.
Yep, it certainly is. Oh, it's a double kill. Spencer just takes it.
That's a double kill.
That's game one.
No.
Yep. Here are results after one game. As you can see, no big drop-offs between first as we get into game number 2, Mort, of the Teamfight Tactics Reckoning World Championships on board.
Strong board. But he's hoping for some matchups against some less strong. Oh my goodness, the Galio! Holy moly! He's going to take too much damage. That's what you're hoping for. Surprised he didn't sell the Zed to make Econ. He really wants that for 2 Spellweaver. And there's the Zyra. You've got to get 5 Draconic in here. I would almost incentivize a double level here.
Definitely in good shape. We're going to jump on board with Spencer, who, check this out, is also running the Kled, but he is not really trying to contest that much. We see he's already leveled to 6. He's not going to be re-rolling for the Kled 3 or anything like that. He's just using it, as you can with the Kled 2 with good items, as a strong transition through stage 3 to go in a different AD direction.
I'm so happy to see this, because one of my big worries coming into this competition was that NA was going to get a little over-fixated on Kled and kind of like really hard force it. This is exactly what I want to see, though. Adaptive play from Spencer, realizing that, okay, I won with it once, it's contested, now I'm going to use it to get through the early game, get a stronger comp in the late game, and still be, you know, flexible enough to play other things.
Probably not going to hit that anytime soon.
Okay, so Esha just hit Kled 3.
That's huge. I mean, and he was only 3 away, so you can tell he went for a roll down. He did find it on the Poppy 3 as well, which is nice because that's the unit that has the Rascal's gloves, the Radiant Thieves gloves on it too. Oh, but the Zephyr comes in and hits Kled right after he hits Kled 3. That's a little bit rough, but it might not end up mattering. We'll see.
So I really like that we got to see this fight here because it gave us a look into Shurikane's board, who we saw get that 5 Draconic early. But unfortunately, still has items on the Ashe as opposed to the Zyra. Hasn't really...
Take a look at it and find out. It was just the first Zyra too, it looks like, for him. No, it was one on his bench. Never mind. He's going to do some swaps here now. He did kind of, obviously, push this 5 Draconic to its limit. He finds the Teemo. He has a pretty strong Ziggs with the Rascal's gloves on it. This board, Mort, I just don't know if this is going to be it. You know, I don't know if this is going to be a board that can really deliver him from an Apiary.
If he can manage to 2-star either the Heimer or the Teemo, and as well as some of his frontline, because right now his frontline is really lacking, and we're kind of seeing his frontline just kind of get melted here. That's going to be the big thing, and right now he's holding a lot of units and has not hit. So thankfully it looks like he's barely going to win this fight. Yeah, that's the thing to note too, is when you get one of these 2 Thieves Gloves, you know, Radiant Blessings, what that means is everyone below 40 health right now is quite a bit stronger than everyone above 40 health. So possibly hit an Uxshun. We'll have to wait and see what he hits here.
All right, so the roll down. There's a Draven. That's what he was looking for.
Oh,
he finds a Kayle as well. Ooh, good start. There's another Draven. This roll down is so important. If you can hit a Draven too, that is massive. Doesn't find it yet. There's another Rel. You can sell a little bit of stuff on your bench, I guess. Like the Aphelios you could part with if you're thinking Draven here.
Yeah, and
he's just going to leave it as is.
You know, we talk about where the skill can be shown in TFT, and this is a great example where I think he got a little dizzy, hasn't committed items, isn't really sure what he wants to do here. Like, even though he managed to hit 2 Dravens, this feels like kind of a rough roll down, where it's like, where are you going? Commits to the Kayle, which is very risky, because it is still a Kayle 1. If he can protect that Kayle, that's great, and we see it looks like it's going to be really close. So CC, yep.
Oh,
fight. So that's a big win for Nukamura here. As you look at the health, and it's getting really, really close here.
Yeah, this is a very, very tight game. 3 players under 10 HP, and Nukamura, the only player, well, he's just 1 HP above 10 HP. So that can make this better than it is.
Yeah.
incomplete.
Unfortunately, the position here doesn't look great. The Diana doesn't get towards the Kayle for the Frozen Heart. So it's really going to come down to if Lucian can maybe sneak in some shots on the Kayle here, but otherwise, I definitely favor Kayle in this matchup.
Oh no, and the Heimerdinger misses the Kayle as well. So any and all instances, any and all possibilities of doing damage to this Kayle did not work out. That is going to be enough to knock Nukomaru from Japan out in 5th place. Esha takes a 6th, and so we have our top 4.
Definitely wouldn't be betting on Spencer here, but it's pretty cool to see all these players get to this position.
Mbappe double kill opportunity. I believe it was his Ghost playing against the other player here, playing against Spencer. See if he can fulfill that. So much stuff on Mbappe's side, including this auction too, and that is just a ton of damage. Shurikane out, and Shurikane, and Spencer out. It is that double kill. Mbappe dominating game number 2.
Nice. And yeah, you can see Spencer now with that, the 1st place and the 3rd place looking really good here. Shurikane.
As we do load on into game number 3 with Mbappe himself. It's all 5 as well, actually.
Nukomaru got the Riven.
Oh, wow.
So that's going to be a Riven 2 with bow at 2-5. That is a very strong start.
Yeah, an incomplete level to 5 before the stage 2 carousel. Really, really aggressively trying to keep this streak. This is a playstyle that Incomplete clearly is super comfortable with and almost maybe needs to have these consistent high placements.
Yeah, it's interesting because at least, in certain ladders, you don't see as much of this. The fact that he's not going to hit an econ breakpoint unless he's willing to sell this Yasuo.
Oh, yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see because this is a pretty low economy, but this is what we were talking about, the clash of 2 styles, right? One is the high economy open fort, the other is the low economy strong board, and they're clearly clashing right now.
I mean, it could maybe even if Lily feels the pressure enough, a 3-5 level up, try to roll just a couple of times, land on maybe one Vel'Koz, something of the sort, and a couple other supplemental units. But this Ziggs' job right now is just to, clear a few units out, not going for winning on these fights, but just to mitigate as much damage as possible. And it is rough now that the Ziggs is stuck on the Aurelia with a Bramble Vest. It's just not going to be doing much more. Only 2 minute kills there.
Yeah, I'm really Bloodthirster. Your Kled kind of lacks the AD he needs to do enough damage, and so that can be really concerning. He's 1 Kled away. Does he keep rolling for it?
Oh, for sure.
Now, this is something we were talking about during game 1, is that a lot of the style right now has been greeting around, trying to hit it. But no, it looks like he's going to roll down here and really look for that Kled.
Oh, he found it. The Nico levels to 6, plays the Ziggs. Okay, doesn't have time to do all of it. Because Spencer's aggressive roll right there was really impactful because as soon as he hits the Kled 3, can level, play the Ziggs for the 6th Hellion, and that is such a huge Kled buff that's going to not only further stabilize Spencer, but also put a lot of pressure on the rest of the lobby and really chunk them, but might not even be winning this matchup though.
So on the other side, this is what we're talking about with the Vel'Koz, who has 2 Nikos on the other side, by the way, which is really smart to hold that because, I really like these items on Draven. These are great items. I know Bloodthirster has kind of fallen out of favor. And on the other side, there's the Gwen too we were talking about.
That's so interesting. I actually absolutely love this. Gwen is one of the most underrated carries in TFT. And look at the damage right there. Gwen is absolutely going to town on Xenia's board. Otherwise, these items are going on the Lucian. And maybe staying there, with the Nico's help.
Oh, he Nico, wow.
Yeah. I mean, okay, I do like this play. I think from Mbappe's point, I think even just playing for a 5th or a 6th in this game is going to be okay. I think trying to greed out for the Akshan and going 8th puts Mbappe in a really awkward, maybe unrecoverable spot over the next 2 games because, we're getting down to things. We need top 4 to advance.
And this is the interesting thing when we talk about the Kled comp, right? It's like, you have the Kled 3, sure, but we talked about there's kind of a lack of AD here, no IE, no Deathblade. Has not hit the Kennen, which is a really big pain point here. And
another
so
roll.
This might be a crash and burn.
He hits it. He had one more roll and he did it. He can sell the Rel or the Lux, I suppose. Does it? Nico's. All right, that's big. Let's see, Mbappe.
We'll have to see if it keeps him alive.
Yeah, Mbappe, the other player, perhaps going to go out here. Single-digit HP for both players. But Spencer's Kled finds his way to the back line to the Lucian. He's going to be able to take him out. Yes.
Got it.
Finds his way to the Galleon. And Bramble's great at dealing with the Kled, but not when there's, no carry left alive.
Yep.
This is the matchup, and Mbappe is going to be the loser of it. Into these Lucian boards, you can swing to the back line, take them out very, very easily.
Yeah, my one concern here is that the Lucian will tear apart these front lines very quickly, and Akshan can't really 1v9, 10 seconds into a fight. He needs time for that Ginsu to ramp up.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it looks like here he's going to get that time. He's still in it. And the other thing is that Lucian really can't lock him down. Every time Lucian tries to ult, he just spins out of the way. Ooh, nope, there you go.
Wow,
yeah, not a big fan of this positioning because, again, this will allow things like Lucian and Draven to just cut through without that inanimate buff.
Okay, yeah, it's not going to be protecting the Fiddlesticks, but Fiddlesticks will be providing that that Frozen Heart, to the Draven. It's going to be slowed down a little bit. But, oh man, Gwen just gets dealt with so fast, so early. Draven with Giant Slayer just tears everything else. There's no damage left alive. I guess there's a Heimer 1 cast and some bunch of HP, but HP is not enough. Lili will certainly fall in third place.
Like I said, really like this Draven itemization. This is really good here. Has the 4 Forgotten. A lot of supporting traits here. So now it all comes down to Draven versus Illusion. Okay, Forgotten Spatula. This is big. 6 Forgotten is massive. This is an additional like 50 AD. Doesn't go for it though.
Wow. I mean, if he was level 9, certainly would find a way to play the 6 Forgotten, but maybe considering he's level 6, doesn't think that that's really feasible at this point.
Whew. Yeah, that's true. He does have to dig up and find... I guess he can find an MF. There's an MF in his shop,
Yeah, there is an MF in the shop. I mean, oh man.
You take out the Diana, you run the 6 Forgotten.
Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, Diana is still good. If something can break the Banshee's Claw on this Lucian and Diana can disrupt it during a key ultimate, it might be okay. And between a Thresh and a Viego, the tools are there to break the Banshee's Claw.
Yeah, agree. And we see definitely on, the right side with the Draven to avoid the Lucian ult. So we'll have to see here.
There we go. Thresh breaks the Banshee's Claw. Ooh. Viego's in the back line, starts
Viego got
stealing the Lucian and does so fast.
Nice.
Lucian going to the other side. That is clearly going to be a Draven win in this fight. Esha gonna be dropping to 1 HP.
Very fast. And so it's all gonna come down to if Lucian can stop the Viego before he himself gets grabbed. And like you said, there is 1 Banshees, but 1 may not be enough.
1 may not be enough. Let's see. Viego is going to jump towards the back line yet again. This Rel now has Warmogs and the D-Claw, but it's actually moved out of the way. The Draven is still free-firing the back line. Same with the Lucian, but Viego once again finds his way into the back line, is looking to steal Esha's Lucian. Just a couple more ticks, and it's happening. Esha, oh man, is gonna go out in second here. Still a solid performance, but incomplete. Taking the lobby with that Draven board.
Yeah, and so we can see here a pretty big point shift with Spencer taking that 7th. That opens up the gate kind of wide open.
Hopping on board with Mbappe.
There we go. Esha so online.
Good. Yeah, online, the only player streaking, no one 100 HP, so we're going to be in an interesting spot.
Especially with going for that Kled style. Esha is going to level to 6 very aggressively and plays the Senna too. But Shurikane hit Yasuo too at still level 5, 3-1.
And Lee Sin too, bro, and this man is a sicko.
How does he do it? Just hit.
Player diff.
Player diff, indeed. And, I mean, there's a lot of CC in this Calista can actually get another ult off. Yeah.
Definitely one of the droids you are looking for. Spatula is such a valuable item in this composition, especially when you already have one, Crowan. The early Fawn, a Kled in the shop. Are we going to see a 3-5 Kled 3? We are. This is how you play the Kled composition. Just hit.
To push levels from this point. It's just such a good spot. The only concern right now is what is this Radiant Armory going to give? If it's not a Kled item, things could get a little awkward, but you'd be happy with, I think one for the cannon as well.
Yeah, absolutely. He does have the most important item on this Kled already, that last Whisper, to make sure it doesn't get stuck on any heavy armor units, Bramble Vest being one of the main counters to this composition. He has a sword, which will become a damage item. It can be a Deathblade, it can be an IE, it can be a BT. Another Zyra, this man is not remotely interested in a stabilization point around this Zyra. He is all in on the Vel'Koz. It is full send, and there it is. Mortdog be praised, just hit. Once again, now he's got to keep rolling here. Just having that Vel'Koz alone is not going to be enough. He finds another Ivern, which is pretty big. He has not used his tome yet, which is a little surprising. I feel like he can clear some bench space and make a quick decision. Obviously looking for that Spellweaver spat if he can get it. Finds a Fiddlestick, so that's a big hit. He gets it in.
All right.
So a little slow on the transition, but it'll have to do for now, going up against Incomplete. He finds the Spellweaver spat that is such a big spike. That turns this composition from something that plays for top 4 into playing for top 1. He also puts the Giant Slayer onto the Fiddlesticks. This is a solid transition.
It's solid. It's maybe not 100% ideal. There's arguments. I mean, Zenit could have rolled a bit more. Maybe found an Ivern 2. Maybe found another Vel'Koz or 2 if he got lucky. But it's still solid and barely gets this round win versus Incomplete. Again, Incomplete.
Because you need to attack to generate mana. So there's just so much value in this unit. Here comes the big transition. He gets offered a Lucian. Here comes an Aphelios. Is he going to purchase the Draven? He purchased the Draven. Okay, 2 Dravens, 3 Dravens. This is exactly what we're looking for. Now he just needs some frontline to go with it. That's definitely a skip on the Teemo. There's no way you can justify spending the extra HP with no itemization for this unit. He passes on it. Here comes a Lulu 2. That's really big. He gets offered a Rel. He can get this Rel in, and then he would have a little bit more frontline.
Oh, doesn't do it, though. This frontline is almost non-existent. I mean, at least you land on the carry, right? The Draven is online, but definitely would have preferred the Aphelios route. I mean, that's why you're holding the Nightbringers, right? That's why the Lee Sins, the Sejuanis are kind of still remaining here. Has to make do with the Draven carry, though.
Yeah, and the Draven carry is quite good with these items. Definitely not best in slot, but it'll do for now. The Kled is getting on top of the Draven and running it over. I have to admit that Luli's transition here was a little bit suspect, to say the least. He's not Rocket, so he winds up taking a bad loss, and he's down on 2 lives now. He gets the Aphelios 2, and it's an instant transition Crow, and it's clear that's where he wanted to go all along. There's an Auction on the shop as well. He's definitely hitting the backline units, Crow, and it's the front line that's really struggling.
Yeah, not even Sejuani upgrade right now. It's a little bit awkward. I mean, we have the Heimer turret to be a little bit of fake frontline. Ivern 1, Fiddle 1 goes in. This is really a lot of heavy lifting that this Aphelios has to do, and hopefully good Teemo shrooms to supplement this as well.
Yeah, that Nightbringer emblem is going to do a lot of work. There's so much value on the shielding, the extra defensiveness for the carries, as well as the extra damage that comes with the trait. Going up against Incomplete, who has been running 5 Draconic. I see golden eggs on his bench. Going up against Esha, we have not gotten to see Esha's board very often today. He's playing, he's all the way at level 9. He's playing Kayle. The Diana's in a great spot to cast on that Kayle, though. Will this Auction be able to swing to the backline and take care of these backline damage sources? Yes, it does. There comes the Diana cast. Kayle's ascending, but it's not going to be enough. Nukamoru gets a big fight win, and it could mean a matter of placements, as we have several players very low. Taking a look at the standings, Spencer is out in 7th. Wow, Spencer, after an incredible start to the day, is going to be playing Game 5 with his back against the wall. 2 disappointing finishes for Spencer in Games 4 and 5. Luli also out in 6th place. We have our top 5 settling. Mbappe, here comes the level 9 roll down. He hits the Viego 2. That's going to be really nice. He's still looking for Ziggs. Nothing there. Meanwhile, Shurikane, first look at that board in a really long time. He had the 3 Yasuo's so early on, and still in search of Yasuo 3. This is a BG if I have ever seen one, Crowan. You see him sit back and sigh, hand in the face. He knows it. He was supposed to hit Yasuo 3 this game, and he's not able to get it done. Now let's see how he repositions. He gets the Shroud in the middle of the fight. The Diana is there as well. Going up against Esha, who
good Diana
was
positioning.
able to upgrade this KO, but the Diana's in a great spot.
Oh, Diana's going to disrupt the whole backline. Teemo upgraded, though, and Kayle upgraded. Might just be too much, with Shurikane not having the Yasuo 3. Lee Sin finding a bit of frontline. Yasuo's slowly making his way into the backline. Gets CC'd, though. This Kayle is ascending, pumping out so much damage. The Lee Sin slow does not hit either. The Kayle is going to be too much for Shurikane to handle, and Shurikane's going to go out in the top 4, however, as Incomplete goes out in 5th. But is Esha even going to go for it? Oh, actually, he's going to be placing multiple Volibears on the field. This disruption might be enough to buy time for Kayle to fully ascend, and for the Teemo Shrooms.
Yeah, this disruption is really, really good into Kled specifically, and the Radiant Zephyr hits the Kled, so 10 seconds of no joy for this Kled, but the Viego is on to the KO, and it is going to steal it. Esha just does not have damage left. Esha will die for sure, and I think we have a very real chance of a double kill here, as Nukamura had the weakest board in the lobby. He takes the loss. Nukamura gets a nice 2nd place, and Mbappe from 1st to 8th to 1st, back to 8th. Oh, wait, sorry, from 8th to 1st to 8th to 1st. He is back in qualification position, and what a wild ride it is with this man. Yeah, super, super interesting. As we take a look at the standings overall, we're starting to see a little bit of separation. So you have two players, Lu Li and Xenia at the bottom, that I think are going to have a heck of a time getting there.
This is game number 5, the final chance for a player like Mbappe. And taking a look, he does have that early Ashe, potentially go Draconic, but he also has a ton of Hellions and a lot of gold. Could even choose to make gold in this position and sell up to 10, choose to hold everything, and gets rewarded with a bunch of Hellions. Look at this start.
He has an upgraded Olaf as well as an upgraded Senna. No third Sentinel, though, or third Skirmisher, so it's a little awkward. This is definitely not what this board wants to look like, but he's 1 unit away. If he can find that Aurelia, he can have his cake and eat it too.
This might be one of the least satisfying early game boards that's pretty strong I've ever seen. Just look at the synergy bar on the left. So much incompletion. Should take the username of the 4th place player right below him, because that's exactly what the synergy bar is. He's trying to clean up everything. There's a Vayne that's actually working on a backline Kennen and none of the front line. This Vayne is very occupied with who's behind her and not focusing on what's in front. Watching the flank, but you need to take down the carries. Nukamar is able to end his stage 2. Finding a Draven! That is insanity right now. That is exactly what he needed.
Super deep, trying to stabilize his board because he's so low on HP.
What?
And he is not trying to stabilize with a Ziggs. Meanwhile, Escha, who we talked about having multiple paths in either a Spellweaver tree. Also, another Vel'Koz? Are you serious right now, Mortdog? What is happening?
Picks up a Karma, has the opportunity to think about if he can go for Karma. Karma is one of the compositions that is very capable of taking top 2 or better because of how powerful its potential is, but it's difficult to get to that spot. It's also difficult to get anything going this fight. This Shroud stalling his entire army from casting. A perfect Shroud execution from Mbappe puts a big damper into Spencer's streak.
Meanwhile, Escha gets the Spear of Shojin. We're going to level 8. We have a Vel'Koz 2, Dan. This is a spot that you want to be in. Escha very, very likely be able to head to tomorrow. And I like the versatility Escha is showing. He's not tunneling on what most people play with this board, which is the Abomination. He says, that's pretty good. Is he willing to sell? Okay, he is. He's willing to give up on the 3 knights. He still needs to find a Fiddlesticks, but for now, he's going to play a 3-knight, 3-redeem, 2-spellweaver board. It should be good enough. Not very many people have this upgraded to carry, though he's going up against Mbappe's very strong board. He's getting shrouded, and his Vel'Koz is on the wrong side.
Yeah, that's right. This is great positioning again. It looks like we're seeing Mbappe in a really good spot. The Syndra does throw it back. Yasuo not even get ramp up, and there's no sustain on the Yasuo, so it does end up becoming a situation where the Cav damage reduction wasn't enough. Not going to commit to Teemo just yet. Going to keep in the Sentinel buff by including that Rakan, for example.
Wow.
See if that's going to pay off. I'm not sure if that's going to do it. I personally feel like Teemo is a lot more valuable, but against this kind of board, does it even really matter that Misfortune 3 is just melting everything? And then Felix doesn't have time to really ramp up, and with no damage amplification, not able to get the snipe. Misfortune trying to restore her health through the spell vamp. And it's just going to barely be enough.
7th place if I'm Shurikane, particularly with how well everyone else is doing in the lobby. He could easily wind up getting passed by Mbappe or Spencer. Going up against Xenia, he's able to move his Draven over to the right side. It should be far enough away from the Rel that Rel's cast will not stun the Draven. Draven actually does get stunned on the very edge of that. I spoke too soon, and that is really bad. Lack of ramp up means that this Aphelios is going to get multiple casts off. The Draven is able to sustain with the Hand of Justice and the 2 Legionnaire trait, but there comes the Ashe arrow. And here comes the Aphelios cast to follow it up. Can Draven lifesteal enough to survive? It does for now. Another Ashe arrow. Oh my god, this fight is insane, Dan.
Tyler,
what is happening?
A last-minute placement of Volibear. 3 items yet to be placed. Can continue to actually wait to see if he needs the Guardian Angel on a specific unit. And here we go. A fight between 2 players who are trying to get their way into the top 4. And Yasuo immediately trying to cut through the back line. Both the carries just isolated from each other, and there's just not enough healing just from the Hand of Justice alone. The Guardian Angel is not enough, and I think we're just going to say goodbye to Spencer right here, right now. One of North America's players goes down yet again just outside the top 4. Shurikane with another masterful top 4 performance. Goes to 9, just plays an extra redeemed unit. because that is often what you end up cutting in order for favor to force Spellweaver. A pretty interesting, full-centered line to try and fight Nukamaro, and this is a fight for potentially second place here.
It's really, really good positioning. The Vel'Koz is going to be able to cast directly into the Aphelios, and it full melted Dan. Brilliant play from Escha to take care of the enemy carry, but there is one more carry to deal with. This Auction is swinging around into the fight. The Vel'Koz is a genius, though. It immediately targets that Auction on the side of the board, and Escha sends Nukamura packing. Mbappe is going for the last second shroud. It has to be said, he has been on point with these shrouds every single time. He actually whiffs this one, though. He assumes Escha's going to swap, and Escha fakes him out. The Syndra should be in a position to be able to throw the Diana away. It does so, but the Vel'Koz cast gets interrupted, and that Vel'Koz is just not going to be able to put out the DPS. The Runaan's proc comes out. The Yasuo is going to reign supreme in this fight. Is it fatal, though?
It is! And there
GG.
you have it, the end of Game 5. The man has fulfilled the prophecy. He needed a first. He's been getting first all day, and he'll end with another first. Congratulations, Mbappe. You're joining us for day number 2.
As we look at these final standings, incomplete, in such a good spot heading into that final lobby, and it was just not his game, and everyone who needed to do something in order to pass him did. So unfortunate for him. He winds up taking the 5th place, down by 1 point, and I have to say,